Hello, Professor Glass. We are going to present you our analysis of our Access program lesson. This is going to be an amazing, incredible video. Here are some of the things we are going to cover in our analysis.
The analysis of our lesson will cover the ESA model, Brown's principles of teaching, multiple intelligences, CCQs, most successful part of the lesson, least successful part of the lesson, and finally, our reflection. This model that we choose to successfully achieve the lesson plan was the ESA model, proposed by Harmer due to its versatility in terms of time and sequence, which adapts better to a 40-minute lesson. This model is divided into three sections: engage, study, and activate.
During the engage phase, the teacher tries to arouse the students' interest. After that, in the activation phase, the students activate all their knowledge and skills with communicative tasks. Then, during the study phase, the activities are related to language. This is why we use vocabulary connected with the topic.
But we made a variation from the ESA model by adding an extra activation phase. Also, we followed a task-based teaching methodology in order to make each task presented in the lesson plan meaningful and so that students acquire language through usage. This is the most predominant language in the lesson.
Also, we developed our activities focusing on three main principles: self-confidence, risk-taking, and meaningful learning. We chose the self-confidence principle due to its main focus is to make learners believe that they indeed are fully capable of accomplishing a task is at least partially a factor in their eventual success in attaining the task. This is why, before starting the first activity from the lesson, the debate, we prepared our students by giving them the vocabulary that we considered essential for their development of their ideas, as well as initiate the lesson by asking them what are their thoughts about the topic.
We have introduced the topic. We want you to tell us what agreement and disagreement expressions do you know?
I agree.
Okay.
That's exactly what I think. That's right.
That's right.
No, I think that too.
I couldn't more agree.
Yes. Okay. Let's go with that. Okay. So some words, in my opinion. Okay.
The risk-taking principle encourages our students to take risks in attempting to use the language. This is why the activity of the debate is so important in the development of the class. Through this activity, students use and verbalize all the vocabulary that was previously learned during the lesson.
Like that, if we know English, we can travel and do many things around the world. So that will make that we have a perfect life in other countries. So learning English is a great opportunity for personal life.
Alright. You have to say about that.
Some people that like in South America don't need to learn English because they don't want to travel to other countries, or they can't have the possibility to travel to other countries.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Your turn.
In my opinion, communication, if you will learn English, your communication expanded, is probably in the process that learning English, you make new friends. And a good example is Access program.
Okay.
Some people have difficulties to learning English. For example, many people like Access will have many interviews for
Access to
and so suppose we are the best of the interview of these interviews, and many people don't access and
Yes, but you have a lot of opportunities. Access is not the only one to
But
learn.
in a point of
but
view,
where they think
some people don't have the skills of English.
Meaningful learning principles help our students to internalize the new concepts by associate sounds, words, structures, and discourse elements with that which is relevant and important in their daily quest for knowledge. For this reason is that we decided to use 2 pieces of news that are related to people that they see in their daily lives through a different channel. This is also related with the selection of materials for the development of the lesson. By using introductory data that is connected with topics that they normally watch on TV or talk with their peers, we are appealing to our students' interests and background in order to keep them engaged with the class.
Guys, it's time. Do you have any ideas? Valentina? Not totally everything. Which first? Which question do you choose?
The second one.
Okay. So what can you tell us?
Okay, we think that if somebody has learned this before, he maybe can be the manager of the team or Chelsea team.
Okay. Guys, are please. Matías?
The ability of somebody displaying quality.
Okay.
Because he lost a big opportunity of job because he doesn't learn English.
That's right. Okay. So we discuss the first question. Yes.
Maybe somebody will learn English. Sorry. It was most important. He wasn't see English that he is still a school of manager. Maybe he will have learned English. They will have.
In the case of the other materials, such as the handouts with the vocabulary and the PPT presentation, were used to keep our students' attention during the class, trying to avoid the distractions from other things that are not related to the class, and keep track of the lesson as much as they can. We also believe that it's quite important to include everyone in any lesson. This is why we think that, as teachers, we have to respect our students' learning processes, pace, levels of proficiency, and their types of intelligence. Taking in consideration the multiple intelligences, we included activities that were related to the introspective and interactive branches of intelligence. For instance, the activity in which students have to write down their thoughts about the class was related to their introspective intelligence, specifically about their intrapersonal. In others, in which they have to do actual task of presenting their ideas during the debate, was related to the interactive branch of intelligence, specifically the interpersonal and linguistic. But also, by doing the debate, there is a group activity. We used the scaffolding presented by Vygotsky in 1978, in which students that are more capable to achieve the task will help our students with more difficulties to successfully achieve them. As we mentioned before, the use of the material that we selected was essential for keeping our students' concentration and motivation during the class.
So, what are the positive aspects and changes that English can have in someone's life? Do you have any thought about this question, maybe? Karina? Sorry. Go ahead. There are no right wrong answers.
No.
Okay.
Positive aspects. We can, when we travel, maybe we can communicate with the other people.
That's right. Yeah, okay, the opportunities. Guys?
More opportunities of jobs in other countries.
Yes. Okay, it's actually a way of discuss.
But we also added constant comprehension checking questions during our lesson, as well as making our pupils repeating the instructions to acknowledge whether they were actually understanding the instructions or not, or if they were clear enough. We believe that the most successful part of the lesson was the main activity of the class, which was the debate. Each of the students were actively engaged in the task,
creating good arguments and defending their points of view, which were part of the class's objectives. We believe that we contributed in the successful development of the activity, providing to students clear instructions which allow them the possibility of doing the activities more effectively and faster. In addition, we included comprehension checking questions during the class, so that we were sure that they understood what they had to do. In some cases, we used the sandwich technique, that consists on giving the students the equivalent definition in their mother tongue of the unknown word, while repeating the foreign language word before students imitate. Also, we monitored the activities, offering help to students and answering their questions when they needed help. First thing that we did at the beginning of the lesson was introducing ourselves to our students and also asking them to quickly introduce themselves. We did this because we wanted that our students felt comfortable with us and also feel that they were in a safe environment. At the end of the lesson, we checked the objectives that were presented at the beginning of it. The idea was that our students would see if they actually accomplished them or not.
The least successful part of the lesson was the study phase, because one of us read the expressions that the students were supposed to read and repeat, in order to help them with their pronunciation. The least successful part of the lesson was the study phase, because one of us read the expressions that the students were supposed to read and repeat, in order to help them with their pronunciation. Also, we didn't pay as much attention to the entire group as we would have wanted to, because we were nervous and we lacked of experience to manage these kind of situations. If we would have the opportunity of doing the lesson again, we would put more emphasis to the students that do not participate as actively as the other, by integrating them and asking them to give their opinions or read the instructions in the case they do not feel very comfortable speaking in public. Another thing we could have done differently was the fact that we didn't move around the class very much, maybe because we were nervous. So for the next time, we will have to practice the way we manage our performance in the class. As a conclusion, we believe that the experience was incredible, due to the students were very participative and a great audience for our first time doing a class. We thought that the time schedule was going to be an issue for us, since we believed that our students were going to be too tired by the time we had to make our class, because we were the last group of the day.
Finally, despite we know that the Access program does not reflect the classroom reality in a Chilean context, in which we will have more than 7 students in a classroom, we do expect that our future students will be as committed with this lesson as the students in the Access program were.
Finally, here are some of the messages our students left us after the class about how was their experience during the debate and our class.